Hey, what's going on YouTube? So I wanted to do a video like this because I haven't done a video like this in a minute. I haven't had any new hardware that I've really been excited about talking about up until the last 2 months. This is the Azeron Keyzen. I'm sure you've seen the Azeron online all over the place. Normally they have this similar layout, but it usually has these giant like claws, kind of like with flippers on the side of them. And personally, I didn't really care for the flippers, but once I saw this, I felt like I had to try it because I was using something called the Gaming Mods Kits, or GMK. And the issue I was having with that after 3 years of using it is I noticed that some games would not allow me to run software that I found online, or eventually when Gaming Mod Kits made their own software, would not allow me to run it on the game. Essentially what happened is games like X-Defiant and Battlefield games would still detect the Xbox 360 analog aspect in the analog or in the device. So it would do a number of things. It would bounce back and forth between controller and keyboard. It would not allow me to navigate my inventory properly because it was bouncing back and forth between analog keyboard and controller. It just wouldn't play well with the games. I'm not sure what Azeron did, what's in their software, what's in their hardware, but when I plug this in, it reads it purely as a keyboard. And the cool thing about it is the analog in there is a Hall effect analog. Now, I'm not sure what all the benefits of this is, but I do know I have seen around that it kind of helps when it comes to drifting. And not that it won't ever drift, but it's less prone to drift. It does feel really smooth. The software allows you to determine how far it'll take for you to be pressing like left or right or wherever you have everything set to. So yeah, I did make the switch. Now I'm making this video to talk about the practical usage of using this device. I feel like there are a lot of videos out there that talk about the unboxing, the devices, the other things that come with it. So I just want to talk about my process with getting proficient with it. Like I'm definitely a lot more decent with it. I don't have to look down as much to make sure I'm pressing the right keys anymore. So I just want to talk about the practical usage in, I would say, competitive FPS games. So as I mentioned, I am playing primarily Battlefield 6, so most of this experience kind of pertains to that and Splitgate Arena. And there's a battle royale for that coming out soon, so I can't wait to try it on that. Now, the learning process, the learning curve was quite literally actually dealing with the curve. There is a curve right here. It dips in, and that's what makes it a little bit awkward, right? Like using the analog is normal. If you played on a controller ever before in your life, it should kind of come a little natural. So that's really not the problem. It's really just this curve. I kind of wish, I still wish, even though I have gotten used to this for the most part, I still wish that this was flat. Because, and I'll put it on screen, when I use the GMK, the analog just slips right there, right in front of the keyboard. So I have access to everything, the spacebar, everything. And because I would normally map random keys that I'm not using, or the arrow keys, if the game would allow me in some way, to my movement. And that's how I would use the GMK. That way, WASD I could use for literally anything else. I believe I would use my Q and W as my weapons. So I would, those primary and secondary. A would be my plating if I was playing a BR or something like that. So stuff like that. So man, it felt really, really good. It felt really, really good. I missed I missed being able to just play on my keyboard. The cool thing about this, like despite the fact it does have this curve, I think these are Cherry MX switches, so it does take Cherry MX switches. I do have the red ones in there. I'm probably going to get some blue ones to try them out and just see how the tactile feeling works. But yeah, it really was just this curve, and more so at the point of the start of the curve and at the end of the curve. So starting from down here at these and then up here with these. Now those points were the most difficult when it came to adjusting to this, especially in high intense situations. I did my best to assign the keybinds to mirror the way I had been playing with the GMK, so that the transition would be as smooth as possible. So if you are going to get this and you have a way of playing with your mouse and keyboard, definitely keep that in mind. Try to make it as, you know, smooth as possible, the transition as possible. If you are coming from moving around with, like, not from my because I'm coming from using an analog to move and then having those keys, so it definitely made switching a lot quicker. But if you're coming straight raw from WASD, it might be a little bit different for you, considering the fact that you're used to moving with WASD. So, you know, just let me know how it goes in the comments if you do end up having this or you do have one already. So what I did was I started with the bottom first. Those were like my focus. I was like, okay, it's gonna be difficult. It just felt difficult, but I felt like I could still get it. So I started to start bottom here. Now the first thing, like positioning. Now when you do get it, they do recommend find the most comfortable position, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. At first, I did have all the keys closer. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if they're closer, I can reach every key a lot easier, which was the case, yes. However, because of this curve, once again, everything being so close made me hit other keys too often. And it didn't click to me until I realized that, man, my hands feel really cramped in this space. And it's because I didn't have that full stretch. So I did extend it. You have these, if you've seen anyone else's video before, you've seen this thing around, they talk about the little screws in the middle where you can adjust how far these, where the keys sit, how far out or in they are, right? And then you also have the screws on this little point right here that control how wide and stuff. So I recommend what I did and what I found to be the most comfortable was the close, like I wanted my middle finger, right? So my middle finger pretty much hits these top buttons right here. The way I have everything, if you can see it down here, I place my palm, and the idea is I want to be able to at least, even if I have to stretch it, hit these buttons. The way I have all my binds set in most of my FPS games, if not all of them, I would never use these buttons at the same time. So there's no reason for me to have to really hit them with two at the same time, right? Or for any keyboard and mouse player for that matter. So yeah, these buttons are dedicated strictly for my middle finger. So my rule of thumb was that as long as the middle button right here I could reach by stretching, it was far enough. I found that to be the most comfortable. Since then, I have not had to move. I have not had to move it, and it made everything else that much better. From there, once I had that adjustment, starting from the bottom, working my way up, the center buttons, honestly, once I got to this point right here, so where you see my R and E and T and stuff like that, these I think are in the most natural positioning in terms of being a real keyboard, right? As far as the layout goes. So I didn't really have too much of an issue when it came to using these. Once I got here, it kind of sped up. I'd say the same for the buttons above it, that row above it, but because that's where the arching kind of starts with this thing, that's also where a lot of the issues did come in as well. So it kind of starts here and up. Like, so the bottom ones kind of start the problem, middle is okay, but once you get to that next row, that's when it's like, okay, this is where it starts to feel awkward. And that's, like I said, you see it's at the start and the end of the curve that really produce the most problems. And that's, once again, it's personally for me, could be different for everyone else. But yeah, once I started to do that, and I started with just multiplayer, because I don't even think RedSec had come out yet, or RedSec had came out and I was trying, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm trying to remember what happened, but I played primarily multiplayer. It made it simpler because I didn't have to worry about plating up. I didn't have to worry about an inventory to go through. I didn't have to worry about, I did use my map, the big map for multiplayer on Battlefield. You can use that to kind of navigate and see where the flow is going so I can plan my flanks properly. So there's not having to worry about all the Battlefield aspects. The Battle Royale aspects made it easier to kind of just focus on, okay, just pure combat. Like at the end of the day, I want to be able to know that if I get into a fight playing the Battle Royale, that I can respond properly and quickly, right? Ultimately, it didn't go as fast as I was hoping it would go. Once I accepted that it was going to take some time, and I just slowed down and allowed myself to kind of just recognize, okay, I'm on a completely different peripheral. That's when things started to kind of started to pick up, and I was like, let me just start with one thing at a time. Let me get used to using one new item or one new ability, and just kind of literally focused on using that thing until it became second nature. Honestly, now when I use this, that's why I put these keys here with the keycaps, the black on whites with the lettering, because when you get this, you're not gonna have any lettering on any of your keycaps. You can choose different colors, but it won't have letterings. For me, I wanted to, if I'm assigning keys, I'm like, okay, I want to be able to make sure I'm pressing it. So occasionally I'll look down at my fingers and it's like, hey, this isn't happening. So I'll look down, I was like, oh, pressing the wrong key, right? So more so training wheels are the reasons why I got this. I don't necessarily need it anymore. I can tell where all my stuff is at, but honestly, I think it gives it a nice little look. So I decided to just keep them on there. I really like it. But yeah, I didn't want to make it too long. I don't think there's really much to it. I mean, ultimately, I feel that if you practice something long enough, you will get used to it. But some things, once again, to help make this potentially easier to dive into for anyone who might be planning to get it, to get perspective on it for those who might want to see what it's like. I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts as far as, once again, the practical usage. There, I guess, plenty of videos out there that go through the material and all that stuff, but I want to talk about usage in general. At the end of the day, that's what we're planning on doing, right? So yeah, I would really love to see Azeron make a analog only version of this that would allow me to use my keyboard, you know, like that would be really sick. That'd be really sick. I would love to see that in the future. But other than that, I appreciate you sticking around if you did. And hopefully this video helped, and I will catch you in the next one.